Alright, what's going on, guys? It's the Boxing Genius here. And today I'll talk about this particular fight. Pacquiao versus Spence. Okay? Now, hold on, let me check it on my other device. Alright. So the way I'll do this is I'll just act like nobody's fucking watching, okay? And I'll just talk as if nobody's watching. And that's really the secret. Some people told me that. So that's what we're gonna do today. If there's some comments, go ahead. But I'm not really concerned if anyone's watching me or not. I'm still gonna discuss the fight, and if the comments come, they'll come. If they don't, who gives a damn? All right. So let's see. Enrique Meza. Hey, how's it going, man? I'm doing pretty good. I'm not sure if the audio is good, but yeah. I'm gonna talk about this fight regardless of how many viewers we have, because honestly, I don't give a damn about numbers. Okay, so I'll just discuss this fight no matter how many viewers are in, even if it's zero. At least people can get to watch a replay. And this is just basically a conclusion about everything that I already spoke about in my film studies, in my previous film studies. This is going to be a conclusion. This is going to be a longer explanation. And for everybody who's wondering who I'm really picking, because I have a reverse prediction and then I also have an original prediction, a lot of people are thinking, oh, maybe he's a Spence fan. Oh, maybe he's a Pacquiao fan. Look, I'm going to clear all of that out today, and we're going to see how this turns out. The audio sounds great, bro. All right. We have 2 people in the chat, and that's what we're going to do. All right. So for those people who don't catch the live, no problem. You can watch a replay. That's really the main purpose of this, is not to get a lot of viewers, but I'm still going to talk about it, even though we don't have a lot of people in the chat. If you have any questions, just send them in, right? Hold on, someone messaged me. Okay, so while I'm texting this guy, I'm gonna start by Alright, we have 4. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk as if there's no one here. I think it's more genuine that way. When people talk and then they have the thought that 100 people are watching them, they don't tend to say the truth. They're not willing to say the truth. And they just lie in front of their people, man. Let's see. All right, we can start. You guys can send in your questions if you have them, but yeah, we can start right here. Now, when I made my reverse prediction on Spence versus Pacquiao, a lot of people just got triggered and all this stuff. You must have missed the part where I said reverse prediction. Okay, you must have missed that, and it's not really my actual prediction, but it's something that I see as possible. It is certainly possible that it will happen. It's just that it's very unlikely, and that's the reason why I said that Spence can win only if he gives us a boring fight. That's the only way he'll win. But otherwise, he can't really do shit. Okay. So let's talk about my reverse prediction. How likely is it? I'm gonna tell you guys right now that it is certainly possible that it will happen. Okay, Errol Spence will beat Manny Pacquiao the way he defeated Mikey Garcia. Pot shots, in and out, punch and get out. Keep his opponent at range with the jab, and hold on, hold on. Keep his opponent at bay with the jab, throw a left, and then get out. That's what he's gonna give us if he has any chance of winning. If Spence has any chance of winning this fight, that's what he's gonna give us. He's gonna give us a boring fight. He's gonna stay on the back foot. He's gonna be defensive. He's gonna throw some shots every once in a while, but he won't commit to it, just like how he did against Mikey. A lot of people said, he just did that by choice. He didn't beat down Mikey. He didn't throw many punches. He didn't commit on his punches because he had a little bit of mercy for Mikey. Are you kidding me? Okay. The man could have thrown a lot of punches against a much smaller guy, jumping from two weight divisions. And guess what? He didn't. He didn't do any of that. Right? He played safe. And to me, the only way to win really against Pacquiao at this position is if he plays it safe. If he stays on the back foot, if he throws some jabs and then the left and then he gets out, if he throws some punches and then he gets out right away, that's really his only chance at this point to win against Pacquiao. And I'll explain to you guys why what people are saying, which is Spence is going to bully him. Spence is too big. Spence is too strong. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys why that is illogical and why that is not a good thing to say. So we're going to tackle this one by one as we go. For people who don't get to watch a stream, it's okay. You can watch a replay. All right. So here's the main thing that people have been saying for a long time. Spence's strength and power. Let me turn on my camera really quick. Let me turn on my camera real quick. Oh boy, it's too low. There we go. Maybe we'll have some more dudes if I do it this way. Mm-hmm. So, hold on. So let me explain to you guys why Spence's strength and power is very likely to be utilized. A lot of people in the boxing community only talk about the what. I repeat, a lot of people in the boxing community only talk about the what. They don't talk about the why and how. How can Spence use his strength? How can Spence use his power? Or can he use his power and strength against Pacquiao? That's what we have to ask. And if you only look at that and say, oh, Spence has strength, you are not considering the relativity of it all, and you are not considering how that can be utilized against Pacquiao. So here's the thing. I'll explain to you guys why Spence's strength and power doesn't really mean much against a guy like Pacquiao, okay? In order to chase down a guy like Pacquiao, in order to beat him down, okay, like Jeff Horn did, who else? Thurman did in their last fight. You will need to give him unorthodox angles. Spence doesn't have that. Spence plays it too safe. Spence stays in his stance too long, and what happens? Nothing. Okay, he doesn't beat down a lot of his opponents. Only people who really beats down is people who don't have a lot of movement and people who don't know how to move side to side. Okay. Damn, these people keep messaging me. Hold on. All right, so back here. Again, we have to know exactly how Spence will utilize his strength and how he can utilize his power. How does he do it? How does he establish this? Okay, here's the answer. Let's start with the strength part. Spence's strength usually comes in the form of smothering. Okay, so the way he did against Porter, the way he did against Garcia, those were all uh, exhibits, or those are all fights where he exhibited his strength. Why? Because there were a lot of smothering involved. Pacquiao is not willing to smother, and Pacquiao has a lot of movement in his arsenal in order to avoid being in a position of smothering. So Spence's strength will not be utilized because, like I said, Pacquiao is very good at moving away and staying or keeping his opponent at bay to where they won't really get into a smothering position. Cotto tried to do it. He failed. Margarito tried to do it. He failed. They cannot get Pacquiao in a position of smothering. If they try to do that, they'll be too close, and Pacquiao will make them pay for being that close to them. Now let's talk about the power. Why Spence's strength will, or why Spence's power will not be utilized against Pacquiao? Pretty damn simple. Pretty damn simple. In order for Spence to throw his shots with full power, he needs to plant his feet. Okay? And if you watch my original prediction, Pacquiao's not really the type of fighter who gives you all that time to plant your feet. That's why Margarito failed. That's why Cotto failed. That's why a lot of his opponents who were power punchers, they all failed. Why? Because their power came from their legs, and in order, or if your opponent is getting power from his legs, he needs to plant his feet. He needs to plant his feet. If he's not willing, or if he doesn't get into a position where he can plant his feet, he'll never get momentum from his legs. He'll never get to load up from his front leg, and he'll never throw those shots with full power. Okay, Spence needs a lot of time to plant his feet to the ground and get a lot of load up from his legs. That's where his power comes from. And if Spence faces an opponent who doesn't allow him to get into that position, it's going to be a really tough night. Okay. He's going to have to beat Pacquiao the way he defeated Mikey Garcia. The way he defeated Mikey Garcia was by playing it safe, staying on the back foot, throwing his shots, right? Throwing his left straight, not a lot of power behind it, but it lands. Throwing his right hooks, not a lot of power behind it, but it lands. Throwing his jab, not a lot of power behind it, but it lands. That's the way to beat Pacquiao. Just outscore him, okay? Just outscore him. That's really the way to do it. Spence's strength and power will not be much of a factor here. Why? Because Pacquiao will never put him in the position where he can use it. Spence's strength comes from smothering, inside fighting, pushing around, shoving his opponent, okay? Using his upper body strength to trap them into the ropes. You do that against Pacquiao, you'll get hit with 5 punches, and you'll be hesitant to do that the next time around. Power, same thing. You try to plant your feet against Pacquiao, he's going to catch you before you can even plant your feet and before you can even load up with your legs. Okay? Let's look at the fighters that he fought. Sean Porter. Sean Porter is the one who initiates. He's not one who counters. Danny Garcia, flat-footed. Okay, Danny Garcia was flat-footed. What happened? Spence was able to plant his feet as well. Together with Danny Garcia, he was able to impose his dominance on him. Mikey Garcia, flat-footed. Okay, you may argue he's circling side to side, but he's flat-footed. What happened? Spence was able to catch him with some shots, but because he had a little bit of footwork in his game, he wasn't able to plant his feet, and he wasn't able to load up on those shots. Look at that Mikey Garcia fight. Okay? You'll rarely see an instance where Spence can really load up on those shots and then throw it with full power. Why? Because Mikey was constantly moving. Only time when he really got to do that was when Mikey was trapped into the ropes and when Mikey was freezing, when Mikey didn't move as much. Okay? If Mikey moves, and when Mikey moved, all Spence can do was to reach for him. reach for him. And I'm going to talk about why that happens. I'm going to talk about why he cannot catch someone who moves so well laterally, someone who moves back well, someone who uses footwork well. I'm going to tell you guys why. When he faces those guys, he tends to play it safe, and he doesn't really knock them out as much. Spence versus Thurman, which is a harder fight? Easy answer, Thurman. Thurman is a harder fight. Why? Okay, two reasons. Number one, Thurman is Thurman is tough enough to walk through Pacquiao's punches. And if you look at the people who was able to pressure Pacquiao, it was the people who were willing to take his punches. Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Antonio Margarito. You may argue, oh, he whooped Margarito, but it doesn't change the fact that Margarito backed him up the entire fight. Okay. And Jeff Horn. Again, you may say, oh, he beat up Jeff Horn. Yeah, but it doesn't disprove the fact that Jeff Horn was able to back him up the entire fight. Why is that? Because they were willing to eat punches from Pacquiao in order to throw their own. Margarito was willing to take punches from Pacquiao in order to throw his own shot. Jeff Horn was willing to take shots from Pacquiao in order to throw his own shot. Spence doesn't have that, guys. Spence is someone who throws and then he gets out of there. If you initiate, he's gonna back up. So the only way for him to really establish his offense is if he initiates. If you initiate against Spence, number one, he's not very good at countering on the back foot. And number two, he doesn't like getting hit. This motherfucker doesn't like getting hit. All right. Let me drink some water. Could Pacquiao still beat Spence even if Spence plays it safe? And how? Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. It's gonna be a hard fight for Pacquiao if Spence plays it safe. And the reason why is because, Pacquiao has a tendency to be wild if he finds it hard to hit his opponents. Okay, so we've seen that against Mayweather. We've seen that against guys who were backfoot fighters. I can't name all of them. I'm sorry. But a lot of backfoot fighters, one example is Mayweather. It's going to be a very tough fight for Pacquiao if Spencer goes for this game plan. That's why if Spencer goes for this game plan where he plays it safe, I will favor Spence. But I do know that Pacquiao has a plan, and Pacquiao has a game plan to counter this. In my opinion, yes, Pacquiao can still beat Spence even if Spence plays it safe. And if you guys are wondering what I mean by playing it safe, just look at the fight against Mikey. That's what I mean. The way he fought when he fought Mikey, and the way he fought when he fought Thurman. Or, no, not Thurman. The way he fought when he fought Sean Porter. That's Spence playing it safe. He throws a couple of power punches, he gets out of there. He's not able to bully Sean Porter like he does against his other opponents. He's not able to bully Mikey. Why? Because Mikey never allowed him to get into a position where he can plant his feet and then throw his power shots. Okay? So again, whenever we look at a fighter and then we look at him and then we say, oh, he has strength, he has power, he has this, he has that, we have to also ask, how can he use it? And why is it valuable against this particular opponent? Does Spence's strength and power work against other opponents? Yes. Which opponents? The flat-footed ones. Which opponents? The ones who are not fast enough to throw multiple punches at him. Who else? Or effective against who? It's effective against people who are intimidated by Spence. Kell Brook was intimidated by Spence. Right? In the first couple of rounds, he was attacking him. What happened in the later rounds? He was backed up. Okay? And then he got knocked out eventually. Anyway, let's answer this question. Could Pacquiao still beat Spence even if Spence plays it safe, and how? He can, but he needs to be the aggressor. If you allow Spence to play it safe and become the aggressor at the same time, like he did against Mikey, so if you can see what happened against Mikey, Spence was staying on the back foot, Spence was playing it safe, Spence was pressuring him, okay? And he was doing all of this because supposedly the fundamental rule in boxing is that in order to pressure someone, you need to be on the front foot, okay? But obviously a lot of fighters are able to pressure fighters or are able to pressure their opponents while being on the back foot. Spence is one of that. Spence is one fighter who can stay on the back foot and he can still pressure you. He can still, man, let me open my cam. Maybe I'll get more viewers this way. Okay. Spence is someone who will pressure you. Spence is someone who will attack you. Spence is someone who will, man, what was I saying a while ago? God damn it. Okay. So Spence has the ability to stay on the back foot while still pressuring you. So in order for Pacquiao to take advantage of Spence playing it safe and staying on the back foot, he needs to be the aggressor. He needs to be a pressure fighter. He needs to throw a lot of punches. And this is tough at this particular point because being a pressure fighter and being the aggressor kind of risk him running out of gas in the later rounds, which obviously Spence can take advantage of because I do think that Spence has the stamina advantage. I think Spence has more stamina than Pacquiao, definitely. But in terms of spurts, in terms of how many punches you can throw in a short amount of time, Pacquiao has that. Pacquiao has that advantage, definitely. Because Spence will throw a lot of power punches and then he'll rest. And then he'll go again and then he'll rest. In terms of spurts, in terms of short and quick, precise punches, that in a given amount of time, I'll give that to Pacquiao. Those are two different types of stamina. Okay. Spence's stamina is preserved for the long run, for the late rounds. Pacquiao's stamina is kind of questionable, whether or not he'll be able to sustain it in the late rounds because it's so explosive. There we go. So Thurman is a harder fight, like I said, because... Hold on, bro. Thurman is a harder fight because he's willing to take the punches of Pacquiao, and he's also has better pressure fighting skills, and that's what we're going to talk about later. Okay, Pacquiao's speed and footwork. Let's talk about this now. Pacquiao's speed and footwork. What the fuck is going on, man? It's going back and forth like 6 viewers, and then it will go down to 0, and then it will go back up to 6. This is weird. What is going on with YouTube? And then it'll go back to 1, and now it's back to 4, and now it's back to 0. What the hell is happening? Maybe it's just StreamYard doing this. Okay. Pacquiao's speed and footwork. How will it play a role in this fight against Spence? I'll tell you guys why. Pacquiao's speed and footwork will play a huge role. In some cases, it doesn't. Like I said, whenever you look at a fighter and then you look at his attributes, you have to ask yourself, how can he use it against this particular opponent? How can he use it against this particular style? People don't ask that enough, so they just look at Pacquiao and say, oh, Pacquiao has speed, Pacquiao has footwork, angles. Okay. Against Morales, I don't think that will work. Certainly not. Why? Because I'm looking at it relatively. Against a guy like Mayweather, sure, it may work. Okay. Against a guy like Marquez, I don't think so. I don't think it'll work as much. You know? So we have to look at it relatively. Now, I'll explain to you guys why Pacquiao's speed and footwork will give Spence a lot of trouble. Number one, Spence doesn't really operate outside of his stance. Okay, so if you look at him, he stays in his southpaw stance and he doesn't really square up. He doesn't really switch into the orthodox stance. Whenever he throws a left hand, he gets back into his original position. And that can open up a lot of opportunities for Pacquiao to create angles for himself and to use a sidestep. Okay, use his angles. Use his evasive steps against Spence, and Spence will most likely stay on that stance, and he won't be able to defend those shots as well. Why? Because he's too afraid to get out of that position. In terms of speed, again, the hybrid stance, which I constantly speak on, the hybrid stance is basically a stance where you put yourself in the position where you're in a bladed stance and a squared stance at the same time. This enables you to transition from your back foot to your front foot pretty quickly. Now, look at the fight between Charlo and Castano. You will see the struggles of Charlo to counter when he is on the back foot. Okay? And again, that is one of the consequences of the hybrid stance. Spence has the same problem. Does Spence have the same problem? Absolutely. He doesn't really know how to counter on the back foot. Okay. And he's not really good at he's not really a good counter puncher in general. So we're not even tackling about this. We're not even arguing about this. If you show me a counterpunching compilation of Spence, I'll believe you. But believe me, I watch a lot of his fights. He's not really good at countering on the back foot. Same thing with Charlo. Same thing with Charlo. And I think Pacquiao's speed will put him on the back foot so much he won't be able to counter, right? And if he tries to, or if he gets trapped to the ropes, he'll get overwhelmed, just like how Charlo got overwhelmed against Castano last. When was that? Was that July 17th? I can't remember exactly. Spencer was everything off that jab except for that sneaky lead. Oh man. Yeah, but if you notice, before he throws the lead low blow, he steps in first. So yeah, Spencer was everything off of that jab. And because that's his only way of cutting the distance, he's too afraid to get out of position. He's too afraid to get out of his stance. The only way to beat Pacquiao is if you're willing to get out of your stance. The only way to build a Pacquiao is if you're willing to get out of your original stance. Jeff Horn, although he didn't beat Pacquiao, he was able to back him up the entire fight. Thurman, although he wasn't able to beat him, he was able to back him up the entire fight. How? He squared up. They squared up. They switched from orthodox to southpaw to squared, orthodox southpaw to squared, right? And they were able to bully Pacquiao and trap him into the ropes for a little while before Pacquiao moved out. They were able to land their shots. Spence doesn't have that. Same thing with Inoue. Inoue is too afraid to square up. Inoue is too afraid to get out of his orthodox stance. Whenever he throws the right hand, you'll rarely see Inoue squaring up. Okay? You look at Castano, whenever he throws the right hand, he squares up. You look at Casimero, he throws the right hand, he squares up. And that opens up a lot of follow-up punches for them because they become closer to their opponent and they can see multiple spots. If you stay in your orthodox stance, the only way to really pressure your opponent is through your punches. The way to beat Pacquiao is not by closing the distance through your punches. The way to beat Pacquiao is by closing the distance through your footwork and your defense. That's what Jeff Horn did. He was able to back up Pacquiao their entire fight. That's what Margarito did. He was able to back up Pacquiao the entire fight. That's what Thurman did. He was able to pressure Pacquiao in the late rounds, not in the early rounds. Why? Because in the early rounds, he was too afraid to use his footwork and his walking or his front foot fighting to trap Pacquiao into the ropes. He was too afraid to do that in the early rounds. In the late rounds, he became desperate. He got out of his orthodox stance. He walked right in front of Pacquiao. All right. Anyway, I'm giving away too much. I supposedly reserved that later. Okay. Pack stamina, will it give out? Will it give out? Again, a lot of people just automatically assume that because Pacquiao is getting older, his stamina will give out. Well, let me tell you this. Everything should be taken into consideration, or every possible scenario must be able to look at causality in order to establish what really happened and why it will happen, why it is about to happen. If you want to look at a certain phenomena and ask yourself or ask yourself how much is the probability of it happening, you have to also ask yourself how much or how possible is it for the cause to happen as well. Now, anyway, I'm getting too complicated. Pack stamina will give out. Not necessarily against Spence. Against other fighters, probably. Against Crawford, maybe. Against Thurman, maybe. Okay? Against Jeff Horn, yes, it did. Against Thurman, yes, it did. Against Spence, though, I don't think it will happen, guys. And here's why. Okay? The only time Pacquiao gets tired is he gets back up to the ropes. If he gets trapped to the ropes, and if he's forced to move around because of the relentless pressure of his opponent. Now, Spence is a pressure fighter. Thurman is a pressure fighter. What's the difference between them? Spence pressures you through his punches. Okay? Thurman pressures you through his footwork and his defense. That's the difference. And if you don't believe me, just look at the Jeff Horn fight, look at the Thurman fight. Okay? They are both fighters who use their footwork in order to pressure Pacquiao. And they will walk. Let me turn on my camera. They will walk right in front of Pacquiao, and then Pacquiao will be forced to back away. Spence doesn't do that. What does Spence do? He throws everything off of that jab. He uses his punches to back his opponent up. Okay? But using his jab against a guy like Pacquiao will only open him up for counters. And later on, I'm pretty damn sure that Spence will be hesitant to throw that anymore. Spence is a typical bully against a cycle like Pacquiao who won't get intimidated like by his size. He gets bent out of shape. We saw Porter do that and Danny in the last 10 seconds of the fight. Against a cycle like Pacquiao who won't get intimidated by his size. He gets bent out of shape. We saw Porter do that and Danny in the last 10 seconds of the fight. I haven't watched a Danny Garcia fight in full, but I saw that with Porter, definitely. Okay, so again, you have to ask yourself, if Pac's stamina will give out, what will be the determining or what will be the cause of it? Okay, and against a guy like Spence, I don't see Spence doing anything that will cause Pacquiao to tire out. Against a guy like Thurman, yeah. Against a guy like Horn, yeah. Why? Because he gives them, or Horn and Thurman gave Pacquiao so many looks. At 1 second, he's going to square up. 1 second, he's going to be in a southpaw stance. 1 second, he's going to walk forward. 1 second, he's going to use a lateral movement. Thurman is able to give Pacquiao so many looks. Spence is not able to do that. Why? Because his only way to really pressure his opponents is by setting it up with the jab. Okay? He's not brave enough to walk forward. Okay? He's not brave enough. Let me turn on my camera. He's not brave enough to shell up and then just walk right through you. Margarito was brave enough to do that. Guess what? He became successful at backing Pacquiao up. Okay? Jeff Horn was willing to do that. Jeff Horn will just go like this, and then he'll move his head a little bit. He'll move forward. What happened? He lost. Yeah, he lost. But he was able to back Pacquiao up. He was able to trap him to the ropes. Okay? Thurman covered up like this, walked right to Pacquiao. What happened? He took some punches, definitely, but he was able to back Pacquiao up. Okay? Setting or pressuring Pacquiao through your punches is so difficult to do against Pacquiao because it will only give him a lot of openings in order to counter you back. And once he counters you back, you'll become more hesitant to throw out punches, and now you don't have anything planned. You don't have a plan B. Thurman had a plan B. What was his plan B? Eating those punches and then walking forward. Inoue has the same problem. Inoue only really pressures his opponent through his punches, not by walking forward and not by taking those punches. Chavez was a fighter. Julio Cesar Chavez was a fighter who was very good at pressuring his opponent. Why? Because he was willing to eat those punches. If you're not willing to eat those punches, you will fail against a guy like Pacquiao. Hold on. 3 comments. Pacquiao should treat his punches like a shotgun and not like a Gatling gun like he used to do when he was young. I think he's become better at doing that, to be honest. Yeah, he's now better at doing that, conserving his energy. All right, we have a Tagalog comment. Kung kaya ni Spence tanggapin look ni Manny like Jeff Horn, then it will be a good fight. Yeah, but the thing is, oh my God, I think he can, but the thing is, it's more mental, not physical. I think he has the chin to do it, but if you look at Spence whenever he gets hit, tuwing natatamaan si Spence, na nagpapanik siya. Ano. Yan. So, Tagalog yung comment mo, Tagalog din yung sagot. Yeah. If not, Spence will be in trouble. But again, Spence has, I think the only way Spence wins is if he plays it safe. If he doesn't allow Pacquiao to hit him too much. Otherwise, he won't really have much success. Earlier, more people are joining the line. Yeah, we have 9. But again, I'm talking as if nobody's watching me. Yeah, panic. He tends to panic. Look at Porter. I think he has the chin to take the punches of Porter. I'm pretty damn confident that he has the chin to take the punches of Porter. But that's more mental. He panics. He panics too much. Same thing when Danny Garcia would hit him with that right hook. If you guys seen that clip where he was with a right hook, I personally think that he can take it. I think he has the chin to take it. But mentally speaking, he's too scared, and he got overwhelmed the moment that happened. Same happened with Charlo and Castaño. I think Charlo has the chin to take the punches of Castaño, but what happened? It's more mental, guys. A lot of people have the chin. They're just afraid to get hit, and that's the same thing for Charlo. That's the same thing for Spence. Oh yeah, Mr. Boxing Jr. Sup, fellas? What's up, Ness? You're a little late. Damn, this camera's is doing some magic for me. A while ago, I only had like 3 or 4. I guess people like it when they're seeing the face of the one who's talking, right? Who knows? Okay, he can't fight like that. What he did in Mikey Garcia fight because he can't box Manny. Yeah, but he didn't necessarily box Manny. It was a mix, or he did not necessarily box Mikey Garcia. It was a calculated pressure fighting tactic, which means that he was pressuring Mikey, right? He was taking control of the center of the ring, but he wasn't overcommitting on his shot and he wasn't putting a lot of power into it. He will just walk forward a little bit, and then when he finds the opening, he throws a 1-2. He gets out, but he's always taking control of the center. That's why I say it's a calculated pressure fighting. It's not necessarily boxing. It's not outboxing. Okay. Well, I'm seeing Pac will be cautious, and that will be a danger for Mr. Ferrari's. Um, is that are more people calling Spence that Ferrarize? That's my first time hearing that term, Ferrarized. And was he riding a Ferrari when he got into an accident? I wouldn't call that panicking. Oh, Jarmel Charlo? No, not. I wouldn't call that panicking either. But Spence, there are definitely times where he panics. I am only the Mr. TBG. Why he don't want to KO Michael previously? Michael was a smaller fighter he fought. A lot of people said he did it on purpose. A lot of people said that he just wanted to beat him down and break him down. I don't really know. I don't know why he didn't choose to knock out Garcia. I personally think he could have done it. I think he wanted a beatdown. He wanted a long beatdown as opposed to a quick finish. You know, when you knock somebody out, it's not as satisfying. Why? Because it happened too quickly. You know, a lot of fighters just want to beat him down slowly. I'm not that kind of fighter. I'm a kind of fighter that wants to end it right away. But a lot of fighters want to end it, with a long beatdown. Like Nate Diaz, for example. Nate Diaz likes that kind of style in the UFC. He likes a long beatdown. He likes to take you into the deep waters in the late rounds. A lot of people like that. Rigondeaux, same thing. He doesn't like to knock his opponent out right away. He likes a long beatdown. Some people go for that. Okay. Oh, I'm the only one who called him Mr. Ferraz. I don't know. Hesitant may be a more apt description. Marquez is a hard puncher, man. He is, yeah. He admitted later that it's because he gassed out. And it's because he gassed out. Who, Pacquiao? Pacquiao gassed out or Spence? Because over here you were referring to Spence, and now you are referring to Marquez, which implies that you're probably talking about Pacquiao here, right? So maybe Pacquiao admitted later on that it's because he gassed out against Marquez. I'm not sure. Ooh, new comment. Okay. Nobody beats Manny at 147. Floyd was hesitant to engage. Marquez got him because it was a fourth fight. Yeah, Marquez already figured him out. And, that right hand over the top of Marquez is no joke as well. That's a weapon of the Orthodox against the Southpaw, so he probably practiced that a lot during his training camp. Hold on, my laptop is about to run out of battery, so I'll grab my charger real quick, guys. We're back. Well, the fourth fight, JMM was very super saiyan, that's why. Do you mean steroid? Mimbo time. I don't know. Spence admitted that he gassed out against Mikey. That's why he couldn't push for the KO. Oh, really? A lot of people said he was doing it on purpose to like do a long beatdown. I'm not sure. Did he say that? Holy shit! If that's the case, then Pacquiao has a better chance. Memo time. Snack on what? Memo time. I wonder if they still talking. Snack on what? Memo time. All right, guys. Let's see the next one. I think I stopped on here. So again, I don't think Pacquiao's stamina will give out simply because Spence won't really do much to force Pacquiao to move around and to force Pacquiao to conserve or to spend a lot of energy. Okay, number one, Spence doesn't have the best defense. Number two, Spence doesn't really have the movement in order to frustrate Pacquiao and force Pacquiao to get wild. Remember, the wilder you get and the wilder punches you, or the more wild your punches are, okay, the more energy you conserve. Okay, especially if you miss. You make your opponent to miss, your opponent will get tired. If you block it, okay, if you block it, your opponent won't get tired as much. So if you look at Spence, he's very good at blocking. Okay, just notice a pattern in all of Pacquiao's fights. Just notice a pattern real quick, okay? In Pacquiao's fights where he throws a lot of punches, it's usually against guys who block. It's usually against the guys who block. And why is that? The reason why that is because missing and your punches flying to the air is much more. It spends so much more energy than you throwing a punch and then it will land on a glove. So let's say, goddamn, let me get my glove real quick, guys. Yep. Let's mute that shit. All right. So let's say I'm the opponent of Pacquiao, right? Throwing a punch on this glove is much less tiring than throwing it in the air and then missing your opponent completely. That's why if you look at a lot of fighters who was good at blocking, Joshua Clary, Antonio Margarito, Brandon Rios, Pacquiao was able to throw a lot of punches in these fights. Why? Because it's not as tiring to hit gloves all day. I don't care if it misses. I don't care if it doesn't land. If it lands on a glove, it's not as tiring. If your opponent, you know, makes you miss completely and doesn't block the shot like a Mayweather, right? Or like a Pernell Whitaker, it's much more tiring. Look at De La Hoya versus Whitaker. The reason why De La Hoya was very tired in that fight is because he was punching air all night. He wasn't punching gloves. Okay, he was punching air all night, and punching air is much more tiring than punching gloves and punching someone who blocks with their gloves. Okay, so it won't gas out Pacquiao as much because Spence relies too much on his blocking skills sometimes. I think the one who might be able to beat Pacquiao is Sean Porter. Sean's style is hell for any fight. Yes. Yes. And the reason why is because. Okay, I'll talk about that later. Peace out, fellas. Take it easy. Keep safe. God bless. Yeah. Let's go, Ness. Ness hasn't been in Discord. I'm excited for the fight, to be honest. Another legacy of Manny. Peace, Mr. Ness Mendoza. Peace, Mr. Jago Bandido. Right, we got some good guys over here. Let's see. Can Spence Willie Pacquiao, invasive versus evasive pressure. This is what I'm going to talk about now. And this will further explain what Jago said, which was the one who can defeat Manny's Porter. Okay. So I'll explain to you guys what invasive and evasive pressure is real quickly. And honestly, just by looking at my style, I don't really think my style can beat the style of Pacquiao because I am falling under the invasive kind of pressure, not the evasive pressure. Okay, now let's talk about this real quick. When you look at the fights of Pacquiao, you'll notice a pattern in his opponents who give him a lot of trouble. You'll notice a pattern in his opponents who was able to back him up on the ropes. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, damn it, Jeff Horn. Jago said Sean Porter. That's what came into my mind. Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman, Eric Morales, you'll notice a good pattern in these fighters, okay? And it's the fact that they are evasive pressure fighters. What that means is that they use their footwork and their defense in order to cut the distance. So look at Jeff Horn. He squares up. He bounces around. He leaps in his opponent. He leaps to his opponent. He when he throws the right hand. Just an example. When he throws the right hand, right, he squares up. Okay, so he starts in his orthodox stance. He throws the right hand. All of a sudden, he squares up. He switches into an southpaw stance. Same thing for Casimero. Casimero is an evasive pressure fighter. Same thing for Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez will throw the right hand and then he'll get out of position. Evasive pressure fighters require three things in order to be great. Number one, they're willing to get out of their orthodox stance or their southpaw stance. Number two, they are willing to throw punches even though they are out of position, even though they are not balanced enough to throw those punches. And number three, they are willing to throw punches from weird angles that most people will consider as dangerous. So, examples of these fighters are John Real Casimero, Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman, Eric Morales, Julio Cesar Chavez, and so on. Okay? Invasive pressure fighters use their punches to pressure their opponents. Examples of these are Naoya Inoue. Okay? How did he pressure Michael Dasmariñas? His jab. His jab. Tommy Hearns. How does Tommy Hearns pressure his opponent? Through his jab. Errol Spence. How does Spence pressure his opponent? Through his jab, through his punches. Okay? Because his opponent has an idea that he can throw one hell of a punch. They get scared and they back up. Margarito. He pressures you not through his footwork, not through his side steps, not through his in and out. He pressures you through raw punches, threatening punches. And he's willing to eat your punches back. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to reorient yourself after you throw something with a lot of momentum and have to go back to your starting point. And Spence doesn't really get into that position where he overcommits. When he throws the left hand, he stays in that bladed stance. When Casimero throws the right hand, he squares up. He leans forward. He smothers. And that's the type of style that will give Pacquiao a lot of trouble. That's why when you said that Porter will give Pacquiao a lot of trouble, I agreed with that. Why? Because Porter, number one, is willing to get out of position. Number two, Porter knows how to punch even when he's out of position. And number three, Porter knows how to find angles that are deemed or that are considered to be dangerous in order to find the openings. Casimero is very good at that. Casimero will smother and then he'll throw the uppercut up top. Okay, Jeff Horn will throw a right hand, he will smother, and then he will throw some weird punches from different angles, even if he's not in position to do so, even if he hasn't planted his feet yet, he's able to throw punches. Okay, he doesn't need to plant his feet in order to have a lot of power in his shots. Same thing for Chavez. They are willing to lose and take risks. Yep, perfect. That's perfect. Margarito was willing to lose and take risk. Did he lose? Yeah, but was he able to bully Pacquiao? I would say so. Okay. Jeff Horn, he lost, yeah, but was he able or was he successful in bullying Pacquiao? I would say so. That's true. Who else? Who else? Eric Morales, yeah, he won. I mean, he won. So that's not a consideration. Who else bullied him as of late? Those are the two fighters that I can name on top of my head. As long as the referee allows them to fight and doesn't let one guy hold and doesn't stop one guy from punching on the inside, a guy like Manny always has a 50-50 chance. Hold on, bro. Hitting the air is tiring AF, that's why. Hold the... Is this the same person? Let me ask you, man, is this the same person right here? Nes Mendoza and NZZ Mendoza. They don't look alike. They don't look alike. Or, damn, are they the same person? Yeah, I think it is the same person. What is FFS? For FFS, smash the thumbs up button, fellas. Law. Joe Horn should wear a glove, an elbow glove. Yeah, that's another part of punching. Even when you're not in position to do so, you tend to throw elbows. You tend to throw, forearm around. You tend to do a lot of dirty things as a result of that. Yeah, Morales made Pacquiao wear winning 10-ounce gloves in that fight. Is that allowed? Are they allowed to like demand those kind of things? They're supposed to wear 8 ounces, right, in the lighter weight classes for F sake. Man, I'm gonna get demonetized if I say that word. So Spence will hold Manny if he gets in trouble, and the ref will allow it. Manny won't win. That's what he always does, man. That's what he always does. He did that against Porter. He did that against Danny Garcia. Whenever he gets tagged with a good shot, he will always tie up. He will always tie up. And again, I think it's more mental. I personally think that he can take those punches, but it's more mental with him. That's why he chooses to tie up. Okay, instead of just taking the punch and then firing back, he ties up. Mr. Mendoza is a legion. I worry on the judge's decision. If same close decision with Thurman, maybe they will give it to Spence this time. I will say so. Yeah, I will say so. And it's a horrible thing because personally, there's a very big chance that this will go into a decision, and that's an inevitable possibility. And to me, if you're gonna ask me honestly what I think and how likely it is for Pacquiao to stop Spence, I would say it's a very thin chance, like 10%. Because although Spence has been hurt before, he always has the right strategies to deal with it. So he either ties up with his opponent, he uses his reach, he clinches, he uses his upper body strength in order to tie up and in order to hug his opponent. Much like Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux has been rocked before. How come Rigondeaux has never been knocked out? It's because they know how to deal with it. They know what to do when they get hurt. And that's the difference. It's not that, they have a good chin or they have good legs. They just know what to do when they get hurt. That's why Rigondeaux's never been knocked out. I think Rigondeaux has a vulnerable chin, but the way he moves and the way he deals with it after he gets hurt is really what makes a difference. He knows exactly what to do after he gets caught with a good shot. If you look at that fight against Solis, he got hit with the left hook. He knew exactly what to do. What did he do? I think he went for the head of Solis and then he pulled it down like this. He knows how to tie up. He knows what to do when he gets hurt. And that's what makes a difference. Lol, Mr. Bandido, maayong gabi ka. What does that mean in Tagalog? I want to know. Eric Morales was the A side. Errol Bobby Blow Blow. Oh, I remember that. Was that the thing that the brother of Pacquiao said? What was the name of the brother of Pacquiao? Blow, 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 blow. He said something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, Bobby Blow Blows. Oh, Bobby Pacquiao. It's right there. It's actually Bobby Pacquiao, the younger brother of Pacquiao. Or the older. I don't know. They hold. That's why MMA shits on boxing. Whenever they get hurt, they hold. But yeah. Even if Manny dominates space, he loses a decision. I hate to say it, but that's very likely. That's very likely. That's very likely. But even if he loses the decision, I think all the people will still give that win to Pacquiao. But obviously, there's a lot on the line for this particular fight. So even if Pacquiao has the moral victory, it's still a big loss in his part to lose all those bouts and to lose by decision via controversial decision. But I don't think his legacy will be affected. If ever he loses, people won't be convinced. Let's just say that. If he loses via decision, people won't be convinced. Unless Spencer really dominates him. Then that's a different story. Pacquiao will beat the boy and send him back to his ranch. Then Pac will name his next dog, Errol the Wolf Spence. Regal styles the hold and punch, and so lucky the ref doesn't see. That's true. Let's see how he does against Casemiro. Damn, I'm so excited to watch it out live, man. Who knows? Maybe I may try like a live commentary. Usually I can be loud on the daytime. I can be loud in the daytime. So if that happens in the, I think it usually happens around 12 p.m. here in the Philippines. So I can be loud. I can like scream and I can get wild. I'm not too worried about the volume of my voice during the day, but during the nighttime I have to tone it down. You know. Watch the upcoming fight. Rigo will be KO'd by Casemiro. I've seen this guy before. Thanks for being here, man. I may do a live commentary if I find a good place to watch it, or if I find a good platform to watch it on. Mayong gabi, good evening. It's Buwano, Mr. TBG. Oh, thank you. Pacquiao will need 2 knockdowns to get a draw. Yeah. I think Pacquiao can knock him down. Knocking him out, though, it's a very unlikely. I hate to say it. Knocking him out, stopping him, that's a tough one. But if he can knock him down, that will make the win more convincing. And if ever he loses, it will be very obvious that something occurred behind closed doors. You know. Lol, Mr. Bandito is spitting advanced facts. Hell yeah. Hold on, guys. Oh boy. I need a place to lean back on. Let's go. Where am I now? Okay. Probability of a KO for both. Okay. Again, a KO for both is very unlikely. Okay. On Spence's side, Pacquiao will not really put him in a position where he can plant his feet and load up on those power shots. And on Spence's side, Pacquiao will have to put him. Okay, Pacquiao will have to put him in a position where he's squared up, and it's really hard to force Spence to square up. Hold on. And in addition to the fact that Spence really knows what to do whenever he gets overwhelmed, he has a lot of things that he's prepared to do. That's why Porter wasn't able to really knock him out. He was able to hurt him, but he wasn't able to knock him out. Hold on, guys. They will have one outrageous card to throw off the fact that the other 2 close scorecards are just as bad. They will have one outrageous card that the other 2. I think that happened. That happens a lot these days. They will have one outrageous card to throw. They will have like maybe 117, 111, and then the other 2 will be 116, 112, probably. Or 118, 110, who knows. Where's the banner now? Okay, so again, the probability of a KO for both is very low. Because number one, Spence is pretty tough to I don't know, whenever Spence gets hit with one good shot, he knows exactly what to do. I just see it in him. You know, he has all the tactics prepared in order to deal with that. Does he get overwhelmed? Yeah, but does he get overwhelmed to the point where he goes down? No. Same thing with Charlo. I think Derek James is really good at that. For Pacquiao, on the other hand, I don't think he'll really be able to allow Spence to plant his feet and then load up on all those power shots. That's why I don't think a KO for both is likely. It is unlikely, but it's possible. 10%. I'll give it a good 10% for each of them, you know. Pacquiao and Usyk will be fighting their opponents and the establishment. The judges, the promoters, the CompuBox, and the referee will be against them. Damn, I hate to say it, but I think that will happen too, man. The judges, the promoters, the CompuBox, and the referee will be against them. And it sucks because the probability of a knockout for Pacquiao is very low as well. Even a stoppage is very unlikely for Pacquiao because Spence is very good at saving himself from being stopped or being knocked out, you know. Spence likes to dish it, but has a hard time taking it. I've heard that term many times. A very popular fighter who falls for the same thing is Gerald McClellan. Guys, or if you guys ever seen Gerald McClellan, one of the most scary fighters offensively. But when you punch him back, he doesn't know what to do. Okay. Look at McClellan versus Nigel Benn. That's when McClellan, or that's when Nigel Benn ended his career. McClellan was a badass fighter, man. One of my favorites. But the thing was, he simply wasn't immune to punches. And whenever you punch him back, he doesn't know what to do. He was like an upgraded, it was like a better version of Tommy Hearns, man. Offensively speaking, I think it was better than Tommy Hearns. But, his toughness in taking the counter shots of his opponent is terrible. He goes down pretty easily. Yep, CompuBox is complete bullshit. It is bullshit, man. Unofficial scoring cards and commentators try to make the fight close, calling stuff that doesn't happen. It's true. It's true. Sometimes I get annoyed by those commentators as well, man. Whenever they say, "Hey, it's a close fight. It's a close fight on our hands," and then they'll show the unofficial scorecard, and it actually doesn't, you know, it doesn't match with what we see and what the majority of the people see. It sucks when we see that happening. I want to see how Spence's slender torso can hold up against Pacquiao's body assault. The body becomes weaker when you have to cut a lot of weight. I experienced the same thing, okay, because I was walking around at 140, and then I fought at 115. I would find that I don't take body shots as well, and that's the only punch that really knocked me down. It was the liver shot. It wasn't in a fight though; it was in sparring. So I know exactly what that feels like. All right, so again, the probability for KO for both is very low, around 10%. And the reason why is because they're both tough, man. I think Pacquiao can overwhelm Spence like Castano did to Charlo, but I don't think he can really stop him or knock him out. I think he can get pretty close to doing it, just like how Castano did to Charlo, but I don't think he can get it done. I love Pacquiao, but Spence is tough as well. So, yeah. How can each of them win? Okay. If Spence plays it safe, that's his best chance of winning, playing it safe and then, being as careful with his shots as possible. Okay. He doesn't want to try to, or I don't want him to go for the KO if he wants to win. He has to fight Pacquiao like he fought Mikey Garcia. Very conservative with his punches, very picky with it, right? And very good at maintaining the distance by leaning on the back foot and then using his lead hand to maintain the distance. That's his best chance of winning against Pacquiao. If he tries to bully Pacquiao, it's gonna go, or he's gonna pay for it. That's why I don't necessarily want that to happen. A lot of analysts are saying it. Man, we can debate, bro. Call them fucking analysts over here, and I can argue with them all day, man. Just in terms of the sweet science, a lot of these wannabe analysts don't really know stuff. Okay, and that's why I'm really excited to get into the amateur boxing sphere again, because I want to set an example for other analysts as well, that in order to be a good analyst you have to fight as well. And that's what I'm going to try to do when the COVID restrictions ease up where I'm at. But the gyms are finally opening up, so I can train some time and I can maybe vlog it, but vlogging isn't really my thing, so who knows, maybe if I get a good camera, I'll vlog myself, and I can show some gym footage. So, Spence, best way for Spence to win is by playing it safe. Now, the question is, if Spence plays it safe, we have to follow that up now with how can Pacquiao win if Spencer goes for that game plan? Well, in order for that to work on the side of Spence needs to be a pressure fighter and a boxer at the same time, which is a calculated pressure fighting, meaning that he's pressuring his opponent, but he's not overcommitting on his shots. It's not being careless. Okay. Now, the follow-up question to that is, how can Pacquiao counter that, and how can Pacquiao win if Spence goes for that game plan? Because it's not just about, oh, he does this, therefore he's going to win. Well, we also have to look at the other side and ask ourselves, if Spence goes for that game plan, which can help him win, how can Pacquiao counter that so that he can help himself win as well? Okay? So if Spence plays it safe, I will have to say that Pacquiao will have to be the aggressor, because when Spence plays it safe, and when Spence is moving forward at the same time, he's really dangerous. Okay, when Spence is on the back foot and he's pressuring you at the same time, is really dangerous. That's what he did against Mikey. I think Mikey could have stayed on the front foot a little bit more. I think Mikey could have used a little less backpedaling. I think Mikey could have stayed on the center a little bit longer, but I guess he was just overwhelmed with how much bigger Spence was at the time. That's why he decided to backpedal and move side to side, and ultimately he paid for it. Spence beat him down. Slow beat down right there. I see you got a new mic. Nice one. This one? Yeah, this was like $80. What is that? 4,200 pesos. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the current trade. Yeah, this is a 4.2K. I may invest in a better one, like those Blue Yeti. Them motherfuckers be sounding great with that Blue Yeti mic, man. I may get that soon. That's one of the good ones. I think it's 11,000 pesos, which will be around $230 or something. Almost all streamers have that, man. I'm kind of interested in trying that out. That Blue Yeti mic. Cinero versus Seric? No. Was that a Southpaw as well? Was that a long time ago? Hold on, let me look it up. Spence versus Seric. A long time ago, I haven't seen it. I would have to guess that this was a long time ago. Yep. 9 years? No. Who are you referring to? Hold on. Seric. What comes out here is Sapiev Seric. Yeah, it's him. 2011. This was in 2011. That was a long time ago. Why are you calculating pesos? Do you live in Clemente? Don't you know by now? I live in the Philippines, man. Yeah. So maybe Mexico has peso as well, but it's definitely not Philippine peso. I got the Shure mic because I like the vintage look of it. Oh, I've seen that. That looks like one of those old school silver mic, man. I've seen that on the stream of Cuadro Alas, it's my boy. Errol had big issues with angles. I'll have to look at this. Was it a southpaw too? Yeah, it is a southpaw. Look at that. Kazakhstan. Sapiev Seric. I'll have to look at this when I have the time. Shure mic. But there are also like some Shure mics that are modern looking. There's this one singer on Omegle. His name is Great Leon, and he has the Shure mic that is like hanging, and it looks so modern, man. I kind of want to try that out too. But yeah, this sounds pretty good. This is what I use for my online voice lessons at the moment, because I can't, or I can't go to a studio. I can't go to a real studio to have my voice lessons taken. So this is what I use for those online voice lessons. Errol had big issues with angles. I just had one a while ago. That's why my voice sounds tired as a motherfucker. I sang a very difficult aria or a song. In classical music, it's called aria. Agree to you, bro. Spence, for him to win, he should not overcommit. Yeah, he will have to be careful. He'll have to fight like Mayweather, and he's gonna give us a boring ass fight if he wants to win this one. Okay, it's not gonna be as exciting as we'll think. It's gonna be like a Mikey Garcia versus Spence, upgraded. Yeah, that boy hurt Spence. You've seen that? The fight against Eric? I personally haven't. It is more with a do re mi fa sol la ti do. We do that with the vowel, okay? Not necessarily the do re mi fa sol la ti do, because the mouth placement will be different with every note. That's why you want to make it one vowel. So if you're gonna sing do re mi fa sol la ti do, you better sing so you can keep the placement, or you can keep the mouth shape consistent throughout. If you try to go do re mi fa sol la ti do, your mouth will go all over the place, and the tongue will go all over the place as well. So you'll have an inconsistent sound. All right. How can each of them win against Spence? You need to be careful, play it safe. That's it. Give us a boring fight. He tries to get into a far fight, he's gonna pay for it, and he's gonna lose badly. On the side of Pacquiao, again, if Spence goes for that game plan of being careful and being picky with his shots, being conservative, he's gonna have to be the aggressor because being careful is just one part of the equation. You need to also become a pressure fighter. Spence also needs to pressure forward in order to become successful with that game plan. Now, if you're Pacquiao, you want to stop that, right? You want to stop the ultimate key to executing that game plan, which is to move forward. How can you stop Spence from moving forward? Well, you move forward yourself. It's pretty damn simple. Well, this sounds like a good boxing channel. Hope you keep it going. So, you are in the Philippines. I've heard distractions on Pacquiao due to politics. Hope not. Yes, there are a lot of distractions. Do you think Pacquiao will be able to counter Spence? And a lot of Filipinos are making issues about him looking a little more serious and a little more stressed out in the vlogs of Silver Voice TV. So if you look at the vlogs of Silver Voice, if you look at just the training footage of Pacquiao's in general, Pacquiao looks a little more serious. Pacquiao looks a little more poker face-ish, and a lot of people suspect that it's because of his tiring and exhausting work in the Senate. He has a lot of things that he worries about heading into this fight. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just laser focused. Do you think Pac will be able to counter Spence off the jab frequently? Okay, so to me, the counter for the jab of Spence, it's going to be the right hook, not the left hand over the top. Okay, so if it's orthodox versus orthodox, it's the same thing for southpaw versus southpaw. Usually, the counter for the jab is the right hand over the top. I don't think that will work against Pacquiao. Why? Because his arms are too short to even reach that point. Okay, he's got T-Rex arms, man. So I don't think that left hand over the top will work. However, I think the right hook will land, okay? Because the right hook, you can reach for the face of your opponent a little bit more, and you can leap in a little bit more. The left hand over the top, you'll have to reach really far for it in order to land. So I think if Pacquiao can counter Spence off the jab frequently, yes. I think he can do it, but he can only do it with the right hook, not the left hand, like he does against his orthodox opponents, Pacquiao is coming to eat and kill. I hope Pac mentally 100% in the fight. I hope Pac mentally 100% in the fight. A lot of people are suspecting that he won't be. I don't think that's the case, man. I think he already left all of his burdens and all of his political agendas aside for this upcoming training camp. And come fight night, we'll see a focused Pacquiao. I really don't want him to worry about politics at the moment, man. If I was Pacquiao, F that shit. There's a lot of people in the Senate who can take care of those policies, He doesn't have to interfere with the Senate all the time. And besides, even if he has all the good intentions in the world, the Senate is too powerful to be stopped. The corruption is too powerful to be stopped by one individual. Hold on. Jeez, you've been live for an hour. I've been live for way longer than this. Haven't you watched my past streams? Yeah, okay, so I stayed away from the topic. Okay, how can Pacquiao win? I think the best way for Pacquiao to win is the way he fought Thurman. Moving around but not being trapped into the ropes. Once he gets trapped into the ropes, usually that's the time he gets hit. When he's not in the ropes, he's not getting hit. He doesn't get hit as much. So the best way is what I call a conservative boxing match. What I mean by that is, yes, you're moving, but you're avoiding the ropes. Conservative outboxing is what I would recommend. Because Pacquiao now, honestly, the explosiveness of Pacquiao really comes in spurts. What does it mean when I say that his explosiveness comes in spurts? What that means is that he will be so explosive for 10 seconds, and then he will rest for 1 minute. Remember, the more explosive you are, the longer you'll have to rest. So, if you look at sprints, for example, why do sprinters rest 2 minutes to 3 minutes in between their sprints? Because the meters per second is much longer, or the meters per second is much more. So, the more meters you run per second, okay, so let's say you run 400 meters in 20 seconds, the longer you'll have to rest. Why? Because your heart pumps out so much blood during that duration that the only way to restore your oxygen back into your system, the only way to restore the oxygen back into your system is by resting longer. You can't sprint 400 meters, rest 10 seconds, and then sprint 400 meters once again. So, what I'm trying to say here is that Pacquiao should conserve his explosiveness because his explosiveness now really comes in spurts. And because he's now older, he's gonna have to rest longer in between his combinations, and we've seen that with the Thurman fight. Okay, he'll throw 5 punches and then he'll rest for a pretty long time. He'll throw 6 punches and then he'll circle around for a pretty long time, and that's because his explosiveness is not the same anymore. Back then, he can just go in and out, throw 5 punches, out, back in, throw 5 punches. Now he doesn't do that. His explosiveness comes in spurts, tiny little bits and pieces. And again, it will come to a point where you really have to rest long in order to sustain that explosiveness. If you try to go all out right there and then have minimal rest in between your combinations, you're not going to be as explosive. You're not going to be as explosive. You'll need that long rest time in order to come back and then be just as explosive as you were in the early rounds. And like I said, the scariest rounds for Pacquiao in this fight, the scariest rounds that we'll see in Pacquiao is going to be the late rounds, not the early rounds, because his explosiveness will eventually decline in the late rounds if he decides, okay, if he decides to try to show off to the fans and then throw his punches without resting too much in between. Okay. What people have to understand is that boxing is like a vacation time. Oh boy. It's a time when he gets to be with his voice, be his true self, and receive many love from the fans in the process. This is what he does to relieve stress. You think money can stop EJ, as what Roach says? Earl Jr.? No, I don't think so. He can overwhelm him, yeah, but stop him? No. I'm sorry. I'm a big Pacquiao fan, but he can't. I saw Pacquiao with a welt under his right eye. Probably got hit with a nice straight left in sparring. I mean, even when he fights orthodox opponents, he gets hit with like a lead jab. So I wouldn't think otherwise that he's not hittable against southpaw, against the left hand from the southpaw. I wouldn't think otherwise. He got hit with jabs from Thurman in their fight, right? So yeah, he's very susceptible to that left hand just as much as he's susceptible to the right hand. You see a knockout happening or just stamina tie fight. I see it going the distance. Yeah. 10% chance of knockout for both of them. That's what I see happening for this one. I feel like I haven't really seen Spence get tired. Yeah, me too. I mean, that dude's stamina is definitely great. I'm not gonna discredit that. He has a great gas tank, unlike most fighters today. How about a flash KO? Possible. Why is that? Because Spence's stance kind of transition from the front foot to the back foot, back and forth. Okay, so if you look at that Thurman fight, the reason why Thurman got knocked down with a flash KO is because he didn't get on balance quick enough. And that's the same thing with Spence, because he constantly shifts from leaning forward to leaning backwards, he has a tendency to become off balance sometimes, and I can certainly see that happening for this one. Maybe, but the ref will call it. I was about to say that, and then you commented it. Yeah, the ref will probably rule it as a slip. Possible. That's possible. I was just thinking that, man. God damn. They'll do everything to make Pacquiao lose, dog. I hate to say it, but that's possible. That's possible. Oh man, I sang that high song. What was it called again? God damn. I sang this song which required a lot of which required a very high note. High baritones usually sing it, so as a bass baritone it was tough a while ago, but you know, I did it. No, my voice is tired as hell. Alright. Let's see some more, guys. How can each of them win? No, I've already said this. Hold on. Alright. All the sure money is on Spence right now. They want to make that mega fight with Canelo. Did he mention fighting Canelo? Bro, really? He don't want Crawford? He don't want Crawford first before Canelo? Damn. I want Canelo versus Beterbiev, bro. Fuck. That's what I want. Or Canelo versus Benavides. What the fuck is wrong with these fighters from the lower weight classes trying to challenge Canelo, man? Get the F out of here. Only people who has a chance against Canelo is big motherfuckers, man. Strong dudes. Do you think Spence is a similar style to Jermel? Yes. Only difference is that they have the opposite stance. But they do have the same style. He said if Crawford doesn't want it, he'll go for Canelo. I'm sorry, guys. I don't sit for long times. So if you guys see me like stretching my lower back, it's because I'm not used to sitting for long hours. I have a standing desk over there. Okay. So whenever I work, I write something, I stand up. Whenever I read, I stand up. I'm not used to sitting for long hours. That's why my lower back easily gets sore by sitting down. I don't like this posture. Yep, he said if Crawford doesn't want it, he'd go for Canelo. That's a good. Damn, I think Canelo wins that one. Canelo too big, bro. And if so, do you think the Spence versus Pacquiao will go down like Castano versus Jermel? No, no, because Castano's style is different with Pacquiao. Oh damn. And someone texted me. Do you think the Spence versus Pacquiao fight will go down like Castano versus Jermel? No, like I said, because Castano is more of a Maidana than Pacquiao. Okay. Castano is willing to take punches. Castano is just moving forward all the time. Castano doesn't have a lot of head movement. Pacquiao goes in and out, man. Pacquiao goes in, out, uses footwork, uses angle. So different fighters, they're both fast. They both throw a lot of punches, but you know, just stylistically speaking, they're very different from each other. And Canelo versus Beterbiev will be awesome. I'd prefer Canelo versus Benavides over that one, but you know, Beterbiev is a tough guy as well. Canelo beats that boy in Little Charlo on the same night. I've said this before, and I got like a lot of hate for saying it. I was like, he's gonna beat the two brothers on the same night, and then someone got mad at me for saying that. Hold up. My phone is vibrating. Oh shoot. What's the difference between Khan and Pacquiao's ambush style? I think Khan doesn't move his head as much. Yeah, number one, Khan doesn't move his head as much. In and out, they both have the in and out, the same in and out footwork. I would have to say that, you know, they're very similar. I would say they're very similar. It's just that Pacquiao style is, damn, I can't really point it out. I have to watch more of Amir Khan, especially in his prime. I've only watched highlights of Amir Khan in his prime, and then one full fight, the fight against Maidana. That was a good one, Maidana versus Khan. But later on in his fight, or later on in his career, he became a bitch, bro. Ever since getting KO'd by Canelo, Amir Khan became a bitch. He quit against Crawford, and ever since that day, I lost all my respect for that dude, bro. That dude don't get heart at all. You think Benavidez can take Canelo's power? I think so. Yeah. Khan attacks straight through the front door. Yeah, that's a good one right there. He throws arm punches at times. He's very sloppy with it, but he's fast. He's fast, but he doesn't have a lot of. He doesn't use his body to punch. He uses his arms mostly. So that's possibly the difference. And the same goes for Nassim Hamed. Nassim Hamed is a very fast fighter, but a lot of his punches are arm punches too. And they both look alike too, Nassim Hamed and Amir Khan. And so they are a little bit sloppy at times as compared to Pacquiao, who uses his legs, uses his body, uses his abdominal muscles in order to throw his shots. Very different from Amir Khan in that sense. I was supposed to talk about what's this guy's name again? Damn, Kavaliauskas versus Ortiz. Yeah, I only know him as Mean Machine. I was supposed to talk about that, but unfortunately, I haven't watched a lot of Kavaliauskas yet, besides this fight with Crawford. However, I'll just give you my first impressions on that fight. I think that this will be the toughest test for Virgil. Again, I'm just talking out of, very limited knowledge on Mean Machine at the moment. So right now, I think Virgil wins. I think Virgil will break him down eventually and stop him, okay, in the late rounds. So that's my first impression on it. Mean Machine is pretty good based on what I saw in Crawford, but I don't really see anything in him that Ortiz cannot handle. And yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll catch Ortiz with a good shot, but I I see that fight going in Ortiz's way. Hold on. Pack style against a Broner. Will that be the best against Spence? Yes, it will. Yes. That's a good fight to watch. If you want to see the style that Pacquiao should use against Spence, I think that's a good one. But the reason why that worked against Broner is because Broner backs up easier than Spence, so it's going to be a different fight because Spence is not really as easy to back up as Broner. Broner just backs up to the ropes, and then he just allows himself to get hit there. Spence doesn't really get backed up as much because he's pretty strong, and he doesn't allow himself to be on the ropes for too long, just like Pacquiao. Mean Machine, yeah, Kavaliauskas. Edigigus Kavaliauskas. I don't know. As a southpaw, when should you rush with a 2-1-2? Jab, cross. I've seen Loma and Pacquiao do it when the opponent is on the back foot. Cross, jab, cross. What is this against an orthodox opponent or a southpaw opponent? As a southpaw, when should you rush with a 2-1-2? So if you're a southpaw, 2-1-2. I've seen Loman Pacquiao do it when his opponent is on the back foot. I think Pac should fight Spence like a hybrid of Oscar De La Hoya and the Matisse fight. I want to see if Pac throw uppercuts on the inside. Yeah, that'll be useful. That'll be definitely useful against Spence. Against Orthodox, 2-1-2 against Orthodox. 2-1-2-2. Trying to visualize it. Hold on. 2-1-2. I've seen Norman Pacquiao do it when the opponent is on the back foot. 2-1-2. So the opponent is on the back foot. 2-1-2. When should you rush with the 2-1-2 when your opponent is on the back foot? Okay. Yep. I get what you're saying now. 2-1-2. You should rush with this when your opponent is too far to be reached with the jab alone. So if you're too afraid to commit with the right jab, for example, and then you want to step in. So let's just take an example. If I'm too afraid to throw my jab against the orthodox opponent, which is very unlikely to land because of the disparities between his head and your head, opposite stance, obviously. The best way to really set it up is by reaching with the left hand, okay? And then to follow that up, you need to throw the jab, but you don't have to throw it like a snap. You have to throw it like a follow through kind of shot. So Chavez is really good at this, and the two, which will eventually finish it off, it needs to be short. Okay, so the two needs to be short in the end. Hold on, against Orthodox. Yeah, so when your opponent is too far to reach, the 2-1-2 is very good. So I would say you have to reach with the left hand first, and then the only time you'll step in is if you throw the right hand, you hit the right jab. So that's the only time you will walk closer to the opponent, and then you can throw the left hand. If they move back, you can throw the left hand long. If they don't move back, throw the left hand short. That's why it's important to train both. It's important to train your rear hand short like this, and it's important to throw it long as well. Yeah, he did it against a Labroner. Yeah, Spence likes to jump back on a straight line. Back usually starts with a jab if I'm right. Against a southpaw, yeah, but against orthodox, yeah, I would say so. But not like a jab that has a lot of snap to it. Just a flick jab like this. Like this. That's what he did when he knocked down Thurman. It's a flicking jab. And then he shot for the stomach, came up with the right hook. Yeah, you're right, man. Yep, Clemente. What other fights are coming up that I'm really excited about? Man, Fury versus Wilder just really sucked, bro. Fucking terrible. I was supposed to make the. Alright, I'll show you guys exactly what I was planning, okay? This was my banners. These was my banners for the Fury versus Wilder fight, okay? So I have this right here. I have this. I have this. I have this. I have this. And then there it goes. But then it's rescheduled to October 9th, so there's really no point in talking about that, man. Joshua versus Usyk. Oh man, a lot of people are telling me that Usyk is gonna win that one. Unfortunately, I haven't gone too deep on Usyk to really make my prediction. A lot of people are saying he's the heavyweight version of Lomachenko. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch him more to know what will happen in that fight. What time is it, guys? 12:19. 12:19. Joshua versus Usyk. Right now, I think, man, I'm gonna have to favor Joshua just because I watch more of Joshua. But hey, you can correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You can tell me what fight to watch and stuff in order to know exactly what happens. Lol, I think we will say that because he's seen around him. This is what I was thinking as well. I was like, really? I watch highlights of Usyk and I haven't really seen a lot of shades of Lomachenko. So I don't know what the hell people are talking about. He's the heavyweight version of Lomachenko. I don't think so. Usyk might be better than Loma. Really? Oh, okay. You're setting my expectations high. I'm finna watch some full fights of Usyk now. Doesn't Wilder remind you of a younger Manny Pacquiao, just without the combinations and without the in and out movement? They rely so much on the rear straight punch. Younger Manny Pacquiao, absolutely, yeah. But I think Pacquiao was more. I think Pacquiao had more variety with his punches than Wilder in his younger days. Fury, Wilder, Usyk, Joshua. Of the four, who has the best chance to win against a prime Mike Tyson with Customado in his corner? Jacob, maybe you can answer that. Fury, Wilder, Usyk, Joshua of the four, who has the best chance to win against a prime Mike Tyson? I'll let Jago say his stuff first, and then I'll say mine. Okay. Fury, Wilder, Usyk, Joshua. Who do you think has the best chance to win against a prime Mike Tyson with a Customado in his prime? Okay, for me, I think it'll have to be Joshua. Joshua will have the best chance. And really, it's only one thing. It's the uppercut. If you have a good uppercut, you can beat Mike Tyson. Lennox Lewis had it. Razor Ruddock had it. He was able to hit Tyson a couple of times. Who else was pretty good with the uppercut against Tyson? Yeah, I think Riddick Bowe would have had a good chance against Tyson, in my opinion, if they ever fought. If you haven't seen Riddick Bowe, guys, that motherfucker was good. Holyfield had a good uppercut as well. So I think whoever has the best uppercut among those four will have the best chance against Tyson, because Tyson constantly ducks up and down, and he's easily timed. It's hard to hit him with straight punches because he's moving side to side, but uppercuts are definitely like he's vulnerable with the uppercuts. So Joshua or Fury? Fury is also a good one. Okay. Oh, this Wilder is nowhere near a Fury. What do you think about Nevada boxing not punishing boxers for? Oh man, I've seen this. I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this. Nevada boxing not punishing boxers for smoking weed. I'm not really that knowledgeable about weed, to be honest with y'all, but I do know that it does it does things that, or I do know that it doesn't really affect your performance as people make it out to be. Like, damn, I forgot. I did research about weed before, but all my knowledge are lost now. There's a lot of processes that, different process that they do with weed, which makes it different from another type of weed. Okay, so depending on the process that is used to make the weed, to produce the weed, the effect will be a little bit different. I just forgot the exact process, what it's called, but I read about it before. Okay. Fury because of the size and movement. Weed is a performance enhancing drug because it speeds up your healing. Yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this. But in terms of like over the top effects that will put you on top, or that will give you a big advantage over your opponent, I haven't really heard much about weed. It doesn't really have the effect of a steroid, but it definitely speeds up your recovery. I've seen that. Has Pacquiao been dazed by an uppercut? He goes into a high guard sometimes. That's open. He's been hit by an uppercut before against Cotto, against Margarito as well. But I think it takes it pretty well. I think it takes it pretty well. Has Pacquiao been dazed by an uppercut? Hold on, guys. I'll be back in 2 minutes, okay? Hang in there. Flood me with all your questions and I'll answer them. I don't want to go yet, okay? I'll just get something outside. We're back. That was quicker than expected. Okay. Pacquiao has an active card. It doesn't stay in place for too long. So you seldom see him getting. Yeah, when he got hit with an uppercut against Cotto, he was on the ropes. Same thing for Margarito. Oh, you're not even gonna leave us with an elevator. Well, it wasn't that long, so I didn't really mind. But yeah, I'll save some hotel music the next time around. Hold on, am I lagging? StreamYard is telling me that my internet is slow or something. What the hell? Did he take a doo-doo? Bruh, no. I do that way before the stream, man. Did he take a doo-doo? No, my sister entered the gates and I had to open it. He had to park her fucking car, you know. Or she had to park her car. That's why I opened the gates for her. You know. So again, what fights can I speak on in the next streams? Yeah, that's really it, man. Ortiz versus Mean Machine. I may talk about that, but not in a stream anymore. What are Joshua versus Usyk? Do we have a date on that already? Like I've seen it. I've seen a poster somewhere, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's the exact date. Do you guys know the date for that one? Let me look it up. In fact, let me look it up. Usyk versus Joshua. That will be on September 25th. Yeah. So I'll probably do this on the Damn, what date is it? What date is it already? July 21, 2021. Hey, but anyway, bro, watch out for my next stream on August. Damn, I'll be doing a live commentary on Rigondeaux versus Casemiro simply because I'm super excited for that fight, guys. Valdez, yeah, I've heard the fight of Oscar Valdez. I don't know who the fuck is his opponent though, you know. I wish you can just get the rematch with Genesis Servania. That's a fight I want. Genesis gave him a very tough fight, but I'm not sure how Genesis looks like now. So he's training in Japan, so I assume he's getting some quality training over there. Maybe Jago has an update on Genesis Servania. Maybe Jago can give an input on that. But if there's a fight with Oscar that I'm really excited for, I really want that rematch against Genesis Servania. That's just what I think. It's a great fight that we all should tune into. But anyway, when is the fight of Casemiro versus Rigondeaux here in the Philippines? Let's see. Casemiro versus Rigo, Philippine time. I may do a live commentary of this if I have a good place to watch it, or if I can find a good network to watch it in. That will be August 14th. That will be 10 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 10 a.m. here in the Philippines. And then they're going to have some undercards first. So that will start at around 12 p.m. maybe. Yeah, August 15th, 12 p.m. 12 in the noontime. 12 in the lunchtime maybe. Yeah, I'll do a live commentary on that, bro. I wonder who Jonas Sultan is fighting on Casmero's undercard. Oh, I may also do that, the commentary on the undercard. I forgot Jonas Sultan is also fighting. So if I'll do the stream, that'll probably start at around 10 a.m. I don't know. But I'm not sure. I may just start on the fight of Sultan up to the fight of Casemiro. That's a good one. So if the fight of Sultan starts at around 11 a.m., I'll start on that. Because yeah, I'll have to prepare for that, man. I'm so excited to watch it live and analyze it as well. That's what I'm planning to do. Okay, because a lot of people are good at analyzing fights when it's done, when they watch the replay. For me, I wouldn't brag about this, but I'm pretty good at analyzing fights live. So when I was watching the Donaire versus Abali, no, I watched a replay of that. But the first time I watched it, that was a replay. I watched a replay for the first time, and I was able to see what they were doing right away in the moment. The moment I was watching it, I was able to see what Donaire was doing right away. It was around the right hand, and same thing for other fights. That's why I'm really excited to do this, because I want to analyze the fight live, and I want to take you guys through what they're doing and the tactics that they're employing on their opponent, the adjustments that they're making in between rounds. That's what I want to explain to you guys live, so that you can kind of see both sides. Was it Cervania who broke his jaw? His jaw. Was it Cervania who broke his jaw? I think that's a different fight. Is it? Is it Silvania who broke his jaw? No, I think that's a different fight. Well, that was. Let me see. Oh, I know that fight. It's not Silvania. Let me see. Who was that? That was against Scott Quick. Yeah, that was against Scott Quick. And then he came back to win that one. Fucking amazing. August 15. Yeah, main event usually starts at noon. Just do a commentary on the entire card. So that will start at 10 a.m. Philippine time, 10 a.m. Philippine time. And then 12 p.m. will be the main event, I assume. Damn, that's a long fucking stream, man. I'm excited for that one. Yeah, that's gonna be my first time doing it. And I can be a little bit louder in the daytime, so I'm really excited for that fight, and I'm excited to analyze it live. You know what I'm saying? So that was it, guys. I didn't expect many people to come in here today. One of my friends told me that, if you're going to do a live stream, just talk as if no one's watching. And then eventually the people will come in. Because if you sit around and then you tell people that, if you sit around and then you tell people to oh, I'm going to wait for 15 people or 20 people, guess what? You're not going to get it, bitch. That's what he told me. So I was just like, man, fuck it. I don't care if I get 0 viewers. I'm going to start with the topic right away. I'm not going to wait for, 10 viewers, 15 viewers, 20 viewers. I'm not going to wait for a certain amount of viewers no more. I'll just get into the topic right away. And then eventually the viewers will come, That's what I really want to do, man. And it worked. We had as much as 21 viewers today. And that's because I didn't really wait too long. I didn't really wait before a certain amount of viewers come in before I talk. I just talked right away, and then the viewers came by virtue of me starting with the topic and not waiting around for too long, not sitting around for too long. All right, drop a StreamYard link on that day. I might be able to join. You'll join live. You'll watch as well, or are you gonna do it after the fight? Are you gonna do it like? Yeah, just comment down, man, if you're gonna do it like live, or you're gonna do it post fight. Yeah, if you want, then if you wait, then people leave, then forget to come back. That's why you just have to start with the topic right away, and then when they come in, they can already hear you talking about it. Great fucking stream, bro. Really enjoyed it, bro. Hey, Jago, just comment down below if you're gonna join live or you're gonna join post fight, because after the main event I'll probably do a short recap of all the fights, and then I'm not sure if you want to join at that time or you want to join mid fight. Just comment down below. Great stream, bro. Really enjoyed it, bro. Man, I'm really anxious because like a lot of the comments here have vulgar words. And usually the more vulgar words you have in your stream, the less likely it is to be monetized. So the last one that I didn't have a lot of or it was demonetized because I said some vulgar words, If you're at least talking, then they get interested. great stream. Watch while I was eating. Whoop. We'll see, but post fight might be better. Man, imagine if if all our expectations are the opposite, and then Jonas will, or imagine if all the results are unexpected, like Rigando gets a knockout or Jonas Sultan gets dropped. Imagine if that's the result. That'd be a good post fight analysis if we have an unexpected result. But anyway, if Rigo wins that one, it will be by a close decision. I don't see him knocking out Casemiro, but I'm not taking away that chance that Rigondeaux can survive 12 rounds. But that's just the third one. My first is Casemiro KOs or Casemiro knocks. No, my first prediction is Casemiro stops Rigondeaux. He's not gonna knock him out. He's gonna stop him. Number two, Casemiro will win by decision, and then number three, Rigo will win by decision. So we'll see on Fight Night what date it is already. God damn it. Oh boy. And this is terrible because I'm gonna start, or college will start on August 18th in one of the schools that I was accepted at. So this will be like 3 days before the start of college, and it's great, man. But I'm gonna have to balance my time much more. The reason why I was able to put a lot of content for this particular one is because number one, I'm not competing anymore, and number two, I'm not studying at the moment. There's no classes and stuff like that, so I can put out a lot of content. I can shoot a lot of videos, and what I want to do is those Mike Korzemba type of videos. If you guys ever seen those stories that he does all the time, just put my voice to use and start telling stories about boxing, what happened in the past, and all that shit. I plan on doing that as well, so go ahead, watch out for that, because a lot of those videos get a lot of views, man. People like stories. People like to talk about, or people like to listen to what happened in the past. People like to hear about the history of boxing as well. So that's what I've been studying to do. I've been studying how to edit stuff, how to transition in between the script. Hold on, Mark who? Mike Korzemba. So he's basically a YouTuber who just tells stories, and he gets hella views for it, man. Mike Korzemba. Hold on. He just tells stories about the NBA, like 7 Kobe Bryant stories that cemented his greatness as a player, and then he'll just read a story, and then he'll have some clips along the way. It's very easy to do, but the script writing is really the hardest part. You have to write a very good script. You need to write some good ass lines, and even just the tone of your voice. You need to keep it interesting, which I'm pretty experienced in. So I have no problems with modulation and voiceover stuff. I would definitely watch story videos. Mike Korzemba, that's his name right there. He makes videos about the NBA, and he researches about stories. I was thinking about doing the the multimedia kind of videos, like where he does fight trailers, multimedia, a closer look. I can copy his voice, in fact, but my voice is too tired right now. I can copy multivideo's voice. That's so I was thinking about doing those kind of videos as well, but he's already doing it, so I'll leave that to him. I'll just go for stories, because what multimedia does all the time is just fight trailers and promos and all that. I think he recently made one on let me see what multimedia uploaded recently. Pacquiao versus Spence. Man, look at this. This was 6 days ago. It had 1 million views, man. So these type of videos really click. Antonio, and then he made one on Joshua versus Usyk, a closer look. Is Manny Pacquiao the greatest of his generation? Yeah, he'll have like a intense videos, or he'll have like intense music in the background, you know, and then he'll talk right away. The older Pacquiao, he'll go like that, and he just narrates throughout. He gets a lot of views for it as well. Multimedia is pretty good at that, man. But the stories are a little more interesting for me because it actually takes research. Uh, the multimedia type videos takes a lot of editing. I don't want to do that. It takes a lot of editing, man. It takes like multimedia is pretty good at editing, and I'm not at that level yet. So those micro Zamba type videos where I just read some stories and then I state fact, and then that'll be a little bit easier for me than those multimedia type videos because there's a lot of transitions. If you look at the multimedia videos, a lot of transitions. He tells us he says a statement, and then there'll be a footage, and then he'll have like a interview of Pacquiao. He'll have a footage of their fight. He'll have some intense music in the background. Just a whole lot of transitions that takes a lot of polishing, and that's kind of tough. So I'll go with stories. Man, watch a BDA boxing video on Pacquiao versus Was Spence. He corrected it. Let me look it up. BDA video boxing Spence. Is it the boxing documentary? 26 minutes. Man, let me hear it. Hold on. Let me see what this is about. Tune. Man, I'm so fucking dumb. I'm not sure if y'all can hear the sound coming from my laptop input, but I'm watching it right now. Yeah, this is really good. I can do this kind of videos. It doesn't take a lot of editing, but those motor video videos, man, those take a lot of editing. Like it looks like a cinema trailer. I'm not I'm not at that level of filmmaking yet. Jago is a little bit better than that, or Jago is definitely an expert at that filmmaking. I think video on PW is better than multimedia. Yeah, breakdowns on post fights good, past fights good. Do the motor video. Hold on, I'll have to listen to it again. Let me see. Motor video. I think it talks very close to the mic. That's why he can do it. Like I can go as low as him, but I have to be in the. It has to be in the morning. In the morning. Hold on, let me listen to him because this kind of voice is something that you don't. Okay, let me just tell you guys. I've met a lot of people with low voices like me because I sing classical. Okay, I have experience in opera singing. I don't sing opera in opera houses and stuff like that, but I have a lot of friends who are opera singers who have big voices, low voices, and I'll tell you guys this right now. Most people who have these trailer voices, that's not the real voice when they talk normally. That's not the real voice. They do that with microphone effects. There's a little bit of reverb. There's a little bit of I'm not exactly sure what they put into the microphone, but the reason why their voice sounds so low is because they speak right close to the mic, and then in addition to that, there are some EQs that are involved in the production of their audio clips. So it is sort of tricky to know whether or not their voice is fake. Even if you guys know Corpse Husband, there's this guy, Corpse Husband. A lot of people are proclaiming that he has the lowest voice ever. But the reason why his voice sounds like that is because he talks so close to the mic. I've never heard of BDA boxing. I'll check it out after this live stream. I'll give it a watch. They do live stream documentaries and analysis. Lol, Mr. TBG, BDA is OG. Yeah, I know. I think I think I watched him a long time ago. The dude with the signature Mexican voice. Mikey Garcia. Man, I wish I could study his voice so I can copy him, but he has the signature Mexican accent, you know. Mikey Garcia has the jab, and goddamn, I'm gonna have to work on my Mexican accent, guys. Okay. Wow, Mr. TBG, big up. Corpse is cool. Yeah, but a lot of these guys who have low voices are just their voice sounds low because of the microphone. Whereas me, I've always wanted, or I've always gotten used to speaking in big rooms, and that's what really forced me to project my voice. A lot of these guys don't really project as much. They can talk low in front of the mic, but when they talk in a big room, they can't really project their voice. And that's the problem with a lot of low voices these days. They can't really project as much. You're like a Filipino version of Mind Smash. Who the fuck is Mind Smash? Oh boy. Mind Smash. Let me watch. Let me see. I'll listen to him right now. Mind Smash. Yo, have you ever wondered why Muhammad Ali? Oh man, this guy's voice is so animated. I am the greatest. Hold on, guys. I'll listen to this guy. What if his mental state somehow adds to? No, his voice is not as low as Motivedia. Motivedia has this good narrator voice. Let me listen to it. Let me listen to it. Man, why do I have it in 1.5? I may do Motivedia now since my voice is tired. Desperate to prove that he can not only survive, but thrive. But thrive. I'll have to work on that. What's this? To prove that he can not only survive, but thrive. Yeah, a lot of these guys talk close to the mic, I can tell. Let me study their voice. Boxing fanatics crave the best. The biggest man thrown will decisively determine who brings the crown. Yeah, that's Motivedia right there. That's my I don't know, I can go lower than that. Some good days, especially in the morning. And if Motivedia suddenly dies or something, you know, I can apply as a replacement. But a lot of these voices are quite animated, in my opinion. A lot of EQs involved, definitely. And it's not as genuine. And it's studio recordings too, so definitely animated. So that was it, guys. A great stream today. It's around 1 a.m. already. I'll see you guys in the next stream, probably in the Reikendau versus Casemiro fight. I'm really excited for that one. We will do a live commentary for the whole fight card, according to Jago. Okay. If you go ahead and join, I'll do the entire card, okay? But if I see you in the stream, I should say, I'll do the entire card. But, you know, I'll have to see first my schedule. But anyway, that was it for this stream, guys. For those motherfuckers that didn't get to watch this live, man, you're a piece of shit. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Subscribe if you're new, and it's been the Boxing Genius here. Peace, man. Ooh, some comments. Have a great day, man, in chat. Cool. Sleep tight. Cool. And broadcast.